going to start with Direct and Cross 101 and illustrate to you the kinds of questions that are recommended, encouraged, in fact insisted upon by our faculty that you ask first on direct examination. Henry will describe that to you.
In NITA programs, we use the classic reporter questions for direct examination: who, what, when, where, why, describe, explain. They're open-ended questions that seek from people an explanation, a description, a narrative of what they're here to testify about.
Once you know that, you know the kinds of questions that you are supposed to ask, which will get good examination, get good information from the witness. But there's another level, and that's why we're talking about direct examination 201. The sound of your questions should convey that you are interested in the answer. And that's a very big challenge for most lawyers. They're not interested in the answer. Why? Because they know the answer. And so the direct tends to sound bored. We're now going to demonstrate by giving you a very small sample of a direct examination of an investigator who was surveilling a liquor store to look for violations of the liquor code. Investigator Beer, where do you work?
NITA Liquor Commission.
How long have you worked there?
About 15 years.
What were you doing on the night of June 1st last year?
I was conducting a surveillance.
I don't sound very interested. Here's the kind of thing that you will learn at our program. The tune to use, and the little change that I'm going to make is that I do not go down at the end of my sentence. I stay up waiting for the answer. Investigator Beer, where do you work?
NITA Liquor Commission.
And how long have you worked there?
Oh, for about 15 years.
What were you doing on the night of June 1st last year?
I was conducting a surveillance.
I'm waiting for the answer. I sound much more interested. Just a little change gives a great deal of improvement to the examination. On cross-examination, the challenge is a different one. Henry will now talk about the basic questions that you'll ask on cross.
Cross-examination is leading examination. We know the answers to the question. We control the narrative. So we're telling a story with our questions as opposed to seeking information. And as a result, the questions I ask are what we call questiments. They are statements that by virtue of my tone, I'm illustrating to the court and to the witness that it's a question. So for example, when I am questioning someone on cross-examination, instead of saying, did you go to the store, I would say, you went to the store that night. When you went to the store, you were going to buy milk. The reason you were going to buy milk was because you had run out. Each of those sounds like a statement, and it is a statement. But the court reporter puts a question mark, the witness answers the question, the judge understood it to be a question by virtue of my tone and the way I finish off the sentence and put it to the witness.
And as Henry has demonstrated, the idea is that the lawyer is really giving the testimony. They are giving the answers, and the witness simply confirms that that is so. The challenge on cross, the challenge of the tune, is to sound as authoritative as possible. So there's really no need, almost no need, for the witness to answer the question. Here's a cross that does not sound as authoritative as we think it should. Again, cross-examining Investigator Beer to show that his view of the liquor store was not as good as he claims. Investigator Beer, you were 60 feet away from cut rate?
Yes.
There were some advertisements in the window?
Yes.
And you can't tell us, can you, that Mr. Jones, the clerk in the liquor store, saw Mr. Watkins as he crossed the street?
No.
By going up at the end, as I just demonstrated, it sounds like I'm not sure that I'm getting the right information. So the trick that we'll teach you on cross is go down at the end so there's really no need to wait any longer. You've just given the testimony. Example, Investigator Beer, you were 60 feet away from the liquor store.
Yes.
There were advertisements in the window.
Yes.
And you can't tell us, can you, that Mr. Jones, the clerk, saw Mr. Watkins at any time that he was crossing the street?
No.
That's how you sound authoritative. These are the tips that we will give you if you join us in our program.